much, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple points before I get to my question. The proposal, as I understand in reconciliation, is a $200 million cut to the food stamp program. So it remains to be seen how we're going to really maintain that effort to feed hungry people in this country. A tax on sugary beverages. I've introduced that legislation, the SWEET Act, many years ago. It's one way in which we can address the issue of nutrition and food. Let's talk to those who are profiting and talk about putting that tax that can be used for health purposes. I would hope in the nature of nutrition that you would look at which is taken out before, the cash value voucher for fruit and vegetables. It's my hope that you can support that effort. With regard to the price of eggs, Cal Maine, which has 1/5 of the market on egg production, $500 million in profits, 3 times what they made last year. If you're going to address egg prices, you've got to talk about price gouging, and I don't know what the administration is doing about that. Let me just talk about the safety net, which leaves New England and specialty crop farmers with few resources to recoup losses, forcing them to make very difficult decisions that put their livelihoods in danger and community food systems at risk. One of the primary reasons that Connecticut has lost 460 farms over the last 5 years. The reason I created the new $220 million block grant, the Farm Support and Recovery Block Grant, specifically tailored to the needs of small and medium-sized farmers in last year's disaster supplemental. I know our commissioner is going to be here a little bit later, and I know how excited that we are about this program and about farmers are excited about this program. Specialty crop farms have a hard time receiving crop insurance because of the lack of availability of coverage for diverse and specialty crops. One of those farmers who you just mentioned is in the room today, and that's Will DeLauro. Now, let me just ask a series of questions, which are really yes or no answers. Would you agree that we have a lot more work to do to improve our federal farm safety net to better support small and medium-sized farmers?
It's very important.
Okay. Will you commit to getting disaster aid in farmers' pockets as soon as possible?
Yes, ma'am. We're working 24 hours a day on that.
Will you ensure that this $220 million grant covers the losses it intended to cover, including crop and livestock losses?
We'll do everything we can. It's my understanding
What
that
does
may
that
not
mean?
be enough, that in fact the losses are bigger than the $220 million.
No, what I want to know is, because I mentioned all kinds of programs that have been funds frozen, terminated.
Well, you're talking about the $220 million from Congress. So are we talking about that, or are we talking about bigger things?
No, I'm talking about specifically today. I understand more, but we have $220 million right there now that farmers can get access to it, and Will DeLauro cannot get the funds that he needs.
Ma'am, it was 3 months ago. The last administration took more than a year.
I know what I'm
this
talking.
is extremely complicated. I just said that by the end of the month, by the end of the month, the money will begin to move, which is at rapid space. Yes,
the $220 million. So by the end of the month, that money is going to flow.
And you know this, that we have to have agreements with every state. It's not that USDA by ourselves sends a check out.
I know this. The states
so
were
we
to
are
send
working diligently with the
Excuse
states.
me,
Your ag commissioner is coming in
Secretary?
today to talk
Yeah,
about it.
right,
So
exactly.
I think I've given a lot of confidence that we're working really hard on that. And are
It's
doing
not about
everything
hard
we
work,
can.
Madam Secretary. It
Well-
is about the commitment to what was passed in the Disaster Relief Act of $220 million that is going to farmers. And when will that money flow? You just said it's the end of the month.
For the 10th time since I started 40 minutes ago, it will begin to flow by the end of the month.
That we will hold you to that effort. Let me then ask about this, because of concern about nutrition. The real concern about nutrition, which we all have concerns about. On the bipartisan basis, for 25 years, administrations and members of Congress have provided enough funding to WIC to serve all eligible families who seek assistance and provide them with full food benefits. I appreciate your commitment to WIC yesterday on the Senate side, and we anticipate that will continue. But will you also commit to funding the cash value voucher for fruits and vegetables at the current level?
Well, we'll take a look at that. I'm not going to commit to it today. In the grand total of the vision here, we're doing everything we can. But what's so important is we spend $400 million a day on the 16 nutrition programs across USDA. 405
I'm running out of
million
time.
a day.
I'm
So there's
running out of
plenty of
time.
money in the system
The
for
vouchers,
priorities.
we had to reinstate it because it was eliminated the last go-round. We cannot afford to do that, because if we're concerned about nutrition, fruits and vegetables and the cash value voucher are central to that effort.
Well, I'd
Thank
love to
you. I
keep
yield
talking
back.
to you about it. Thank you.
Yield back.
Thank you very much. Mr. Molinar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and with your permission, I'd like to yield to Dan Newhouse. He has another committee meeting.
Mr. Newhouse.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Molinar, appreciate your